Just barely 9 months since the release of the Smart 10, Infinix has dropped the brand new Smart 20, which claims to be much better considering its higher asking price of around 145,000 naira. But is it actually better? Well, keep watching because by the end of this video, you're going to find out if the Smart 20 is worth your money in 2026 or whether it's something you should completely ignore. First of all, what do you actually get in the box? Well, inside the packaging you get a TPU case which matches the color of the phone, a SIM ejector tool, a couple of paperwork, USB Type-C cable and a charging brick. So quite early on, it's already a good thing that they are providing all accessories in the box so they end up spending more. And if you're enjoying this video, tap that like button right now and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any useful videos just like this one. Thank you. And that brings us to design and build quality. Design wise, this phone has really taken the rectangular camera island aesthetic up a notch, especially when you compare it to the Pop 20, which is just flat. We're getting a two-tone finish, a matte-like material for the rear and a glossy material for the protruding rectangular bump, which allows it to resemble even more expensive phones like these. I don't like how it attracts a lot of fingerprints, but I don't think it's something you would worry about when using the phone, especially considering its rectangular shape. As for the build quality, let's take a moment to appreciate how well built this phone is, given that it's a plastic finish. Like, doesn't that rear look awesome? And it doesn't end there, as the Smart 20 is still a very durable phone despite how slim it is at 7.7mm. It has an IP64 rating which protects against dust and water splashes, as well as 1.5m drop resistance, which is further improved by the addition of a pre-installed screen protector. Now, does that mean you should go about dropping the phone? No, I strongly suggest that you do not do that. However, design and build quality aspect is good enough that not only does the phone look cool, it should also survive essential situations. But now, what does the Smart 20 give us when we turn to the external features? Well, on the left side of the phone, we are getting the SIM card slot which supports 2 SIM cards and a memory card. Good to see. On the right side, we have 2 volume rockers and a power button which doubles as a fingerprint scanner, and oh boy, it's quite rapid and responsive most of the time. At the bottom of the phone, we are getting the headphone jack, nice, the microphone and then the USB Type-C port. What about the speakers, Harry? Well, just like the Pop 20, Infinix decided to put it at the top of the phone, which is kind of weird if I'm being honest. I just feel like the normal dual speaker setup would have been much better. It's not a bad move by any means, I just wish they changed it back on the upcoming Smart 30. And that leads us to the display. How good is the Smart 20 screen? Well, the phone comes with a 6.78-inch 720p IPS LCD panel with a 120Hz refresh rate. Now, before I tell you what is good about this display, let me first tell you what is not so good. For one, we are still getting a 720p HD Plus resolution. In a world where many mid-range phones, even high-end budget phones, now come with Quad HD 1.5K panels, I feel that entry-level options should start getting 1080p screens that look much better. Second is the brightness level. At 700 nits, this phone is almost unusable outdoors under direct sunlight, especially when those high-end Pro Plus phones are hitting 4500 nits. You hear that? 4500 nits. And number 3 is the 120Hz refresh rate. If you judge this phone alone by specs, you'd say, it has a 120Hz refresh rate, cool. But what you don't know is that this 120Hz refresh rate only works on a few selected apps, and it will only take you navigating through the settings to figure it out. Most apps you would end up using run at 90Hz, which makes the whole 120Hz promotion feel a little misleading. However, that's just what I wanted to know before accepting anything at face value. In reality, for the price, this screen is still good enough for consuming content, whether watching YouTube or your favorite movies. It's large, vibrant and color accurate, and except if you are nitpicking, I genuinely don't think you have any problems using this display. Now, with all that said, how good is the Smart 20's performance? Powering the Smart 20 is the MediaTek Helio G81 or G81 Ultra, I don't know. And I want you to understand this early. This phone is not, and I repeat not, better at handling tasks than its predecessor the Smart 10, which came with the Insulti 7250. It comes with 2 memory configurations, 64GB with 4GB of RAM and 128GB with 4GB of RAM, though there's memory card support and virtual RAM if you want to expand either the storage or RAM and make the phone perform smoother. In terms of daily use, I see that this is average considering how much the phone actually costs. Apps open decently, multitasking is quite smooth, though when you push it with heavier apps, you start to see some stutters as you hit the limitations of the entry-level chip. When it comes to gaming, this phone is clearly not built for top-of-the-line games like Call of Duty Mobile or Genshin Impact. It's mostly built for simple games that won't demand a lot from the processor. However, playing those titles isn't impossible. you should just turn down the settings and it will be playable. But what about the software? Well, the Smart 20 runs XOS 16 based on Android 16, and I'm glad they're doing things differently compared to others at the same price that still come with Android 15.
Come on, man.
At first glance, it doesn't look that different compared to last year's Smart 10. I mean, you still get that similar app layout, the same quick toggles, as well as a buttload of bloatware, which I'm definitely not a fan of. However, this time around, what they improved is in the amount of features that this phone comes with, mostly AI features. One of such features is NFC, which allows very seamless file transfer just like iPhones. Another is Ultralink 2.0, which is an improved version from the previous model and now allows a range of about 1 km, which is crazy. And when we turn things to Infinix AI, in addition to the usual stuff like AI Magic Eraser for photo editing, AI writing, and a document assistant, there's now a new feature called Pure Voice AI Noise Cancellation for calls. Pure Voice, And what it essentially does is identify the background noise of the environment whoever is calling you is staying in, filter out the noise, and thereby boost the voice quality on the other end. Nifty feature. So to conclude this aspect, in as much as the software is pretty basic, I'm still really happy about all the improvements they still managed to get out. Now, before we look at the cameras, let's first address the battery experience. The Smart 20 is powered by a massive 5200 mAh battery, which is clearly an improvement from the 5000 mAh capacity on the Smart 10. Now, the Smart 10 was a phone with really good battery life, so what this means is that this phone should last even longer when it comes down to casual or heavy usage. However, I wish I could say the same about the charging, which is in my opinion one of the worst aspects of this phone. The Smart 20 supports 15W wired charging, which when you factor in the price of about 150,000 naira is quite mediocre. As similarly priced options such as the Tecno Spark 40 or even the Infinix 60i come with 45W charging. And that's not even the worst part. While the Infinix, despite giving us 15W charging, decided to give us just a 10W charging brick in the box. What that means is that unless you have a 15W brick lying somewhere around, this will take above 2 hours to fill from 0%, which is slow in 2026. Some people like myself might not care too much as we're used to charging our phones overnight, but it's still something you need to be aware of before making the purchase. And that leads us to the final aspect of this phone, the cameras. The Smart 20 comes with an 8MP camera on the rear as well as an 8MP selfie camera, and this is probably the weakest area of this phone, to be brutally honest with you. The photos are quite decent if and only if you give it enough lighting to work with. Anything even resembling low light will completely demolish the end results, rendering it unusable around 95% of the time. The dynamic range also suffers heavily due to the extremely low megapixel count, which reduces detail and focus. The only good thing I'll say about this camera system is its ability to shoot 2K video, which is more detailed, although you have to be constantly steady while recording for the results to be good. And if you're wondering about the secondary camera on the rear, well, it's an IR blaster for controlling basic home appliances like your TV. Definitely not a secondary camera. So is this phone, considering its 145,000 naira asking price, worth your money in 2026 or not? I'll say that for a price of 145k, which is 40,000 naira more expensive than what the Smart 10 released with last year, it does still have some major improvements like the better build, the bigger battery, and best of all, the recent Android 16 software. However, when you consider options at a similar price range which come with better specs like a 50MP camera and 45W charging, it's quite hard to argue for the Smart 20 here. This is still a very good phone, but remember, nothing comes for free. I'm currently working on a comparison against the Pop 20, so subscribe to not miss that. And in case you have no idea what the Pop 20 brings to the table, click the card on the screen right now and I'll tell you all about it.